welcome to your chair circuit. So today is a full body circuit. We're going to use a chair to help us move through it. It's not necessarily going to make it any easier, but it's just going to give us a little bit of support. You'll also need a pair of dumbbells today and your water, all right? So set up your chair on a yoga mat, something that it's not going to slip on. That's really, really important. Or if you're using a couch, make sure that couch is pushed up against a wall, or your chair can also be pushed up against the wall. Safety is of utmost importance. For our warm-up, we are going to do some sun salutation, so a little bit of yoga using our chair as a prompt. So bringing your chair to the edge of your mat, making sure all 4 feet are still on the mat. Get any weights out of the way that you might kick or trip over. And from here, we're going to stand about a foot to 18 inches away from our chair, depending if you're measuring your feet or your legs. We're gonna hinge at the hips, keeping our spine nice and long. Bring our hands down to our chair. You can either bring them flat, or if you feel a little bit more secure, you can grip the sides of your chair as well. And then from here, just a nice long spine, long through the back of your neck. Don't lock your legs out. And then we're gonna just give a little bit of an up dog here, lifting our chest. And then we're gonna go into a little bit of cow, just rounding our spine just to warm up. And then take that spine the opposite direction, lifting your chest, lifting your tailbone. And then reverse it, lift through your shoulder blades, push through your hands. Just loosening up the upper back. One more time through, lift your chest. And then round your spine. And then come into a neutral spine. We're gonna step back into a plank. And so it doesn't have to be that far back. You still want your shoulders over your wrists. And from here, you're gonna push back into a modified downward dog. So stretching out through the backs of your legs, through your shoulders, your chest. You can drop your head a little bit. Taking a wider stance if that feels more comfortable to you and your belly. And then you're gonna come forward into a plank, and then drop your hips slightly while still feeling supported. Lift up through your chest, then come back through plank, and then back to a modified downward dog. And then shift forward back into plank, and then up dog. Dropping your hips, lifting your chest. Keep your legs active, pushing into your toes. And then back to plank, through it to downward dog. And then come back through plank. Drop your hips, lift your chest. Roll your shoulders back slightly. Come through plank, one more downward facing dog. And then we'll come through plank and step our left foot forward. So it's next to the chair, lifting up through your chest. Pushing into your hands, so shoulders roll down away from your earlobes. Then push back into plank. And then right foot comes up. Same thing, knee stacks right over your ankle. Lift your chest. Pull your right hip back. Then come back to plank. Take one more upward dog. Through plank to downward dog. And then walk your feet in. All right, so we're gonna do things a little bit different today. Typically we go for time, but today we're gonna go for reps. All right, we're gonna actually count our reps today. So I want you to grab your dumbbells, have some options nearby. If you need 5s and 8s, or if you want 8s and 10s, just have all those options so that you don't have to run all over the house to get them. Set them up on your mat, chair on your mat. We're gonna get started with what I like to call baby press. All right, so have a seat on your chair, knees stacked right over your feet. I'm gonna start with a single weight, and then our elbows are in nice and close. And from here, we're going to press that weight up and away at almost a 90-degree angle, maybe more like a 60-degree angle, and then pull it back down. So big press, pull it back down. So your goal is to not lean back as you do this. And we're gonna go for 12 reps. That's 4, 5, if you're moving with me, 6, or you can count on your own, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Good. From here, we're going to go into reverse flies. So you have to take your chair, and you might need to flip it around unless you can put your hand on the seat and feel like that's high enough for you. And then from here, lifting through your elbow out to the side. Start with whichever arm feels like you're ready to go, honestly. Sometimes I start with my left, sometimes I start with my right. As long as you do both arms, that's what's important. That's 6 for me. We're going for 12. 7, 8, 9, 10, lifting through your elbow, squeezing your shoulder blade towards your spine. 1 more. Awesome. I have to flip my chair around so I don't punch the wall. You can get right into it. I will be counting. Lift through your elbow. Hips are back, but feet are flat on the floor. And in your stabilizing arm, it's not all your weight. You're not dumping it in there. It's just enough to remind you to keep your back neutral. That's 8 for me. 9, 10, if you're moving with me, 11, and 12. All right. Put your weight down. We're going to go into a plank next. So remember, all 4 corners of your chair need to be on your mat so it doesn't slide out from in front of you. We're going to bring our hands down onto our chair, shoulder stack over our wrists. Step your feet back into a plank. If this is too much, you can always do this on the back of a couch, or you can skip it and you can do a tabletop position. And from here, we're going to hold in this first round. Just breathe. Giving your baby a squeeze with your core, your inner core. If you need to, you can sit back into that downward dog, just like from our warm-up, and then shift forward back into plank. We have 5 more seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Recover. All right, our 4th movement today is the air squat. So air means no weights, and we're gonna go for 20 reps. All right, if you need to take it a little bit easier, if you need to go 15 or 12 reps, that's totally fine. But we're gonna do 20 reps, and we're gonna do this thing 3 times. So that's 60 total squats by the end of this workout. All right, feet, they're probably a little bit wider now than shoulder width distance apart, maybe to the edges of your mat. And we're gonna reach our hips back to sit into our heels and then stand up. All right, I won't count every single number. Focus on your breathing. lifted. You don't need to look down at your feet. I'd rather you look forward, maybe out a window or at a wall. That's 10 for me, so halfway. Push down into your entire foot, even your big toe. I got 5 more. If you're staying with me, sometimes I lose count. Something I've mentioned before. I'm gonna do one for good luck. All right. Take about 15 seconds, grab some water. We're gonna go back into the baby press. So you can either grab one weight and you can go up in weight. You can grab something a little bit heavier than you used last time, or you can go to 2 weights. I'm gonna stick with 1 weight and the same weight because I'm 35 weeks pregnant. I'm just taking it easy. I'm glad I'm moving. All right, setting it up. We have 14 reps this time. All right, so we're going up just a little bit. If you went up in weight, stick with 12. Here we go. That's 4. Exhale as you press. That's 8. Spine neutral, looking forward. 12, 13, 14. Good. All right, so we're gonna take it into those reverse flies next. Again, adjust your weight as needed. Hand comes onto the chair, feet are back, spine is neutral. 14 on each side. If you went up in weight here, just make sure that you're not twisting yourself to get that weight up. You're lifting through your elbow, squeezing your shoulder blade towards your spine, and you're controlling it on the way down. That's 6 for me. 8. 10, that's 4 more. 2 more. And so you could also be going just for the time that I'm moving in each of these movements, or you could be counting on your own. And once you know the movements, you can even just pause this video and just take it at your own pace. That's 4. Lifting through your elbow. Spine neutral, that means chest face down. 8. Keep your feet firmly planted. 12, 2 more. Good. All right, we go into our plank. So last time we did a simple plank. This time we're gonna spice it up just a little bit. All right, hands on your chair, step back into your plank. And from here, we're gonna pick up one hand at a time. If that doesn't feel safe or secure or balanced for you, hold your plank and then know that you can always sit back into your modified downward dog when you need to rest and then come forward. But if you're gonna move your hands with me, we're gonna do 12. So picking up one hand, keeping your hip steady, then the other hand. That's 2, 4, 6, pushing into your toes. 8, shoulders stay over wrists. 10, our air squats. Catch your breath if you need to. Always welcome to sit and take a rest. That's why the chair is there. But otherwise, we're gonna go into our 20 squats. So feet almost as wide as the mat, especially if you're in your third trimester. Hips go back, we have 20 squats. Drive into the back half of your foot as you stand. I like doing these chair squats because you can really hinge back without being worried that you're gonna fall. That chair is there to catch you. And then as you're standing, you're re-engaging with that inner core, keeping your chest up. I think that's 10 for me. When I start talking a lot, it's hard for me to count and talk at the same time. So once you've done 20, you can start your rest. If you're going for time, just as doing the motions as long as I'm doing the motions, it's even simpler. I think I have 2 more. All right. Grab a little bit of water if you haven't yet. We have 1 more round. So we're going back to that baby press. So grab your dumbbell. You can start to get set up on your chair. Knees stacked over your ankles, spine neutral. Grab your weight, elbows in tight. We're gonna press it up. And I call this baby press because it's really rare that we press the baby up over our head here. We're usually pushing it out away from us when we're playing with the baby, looking at the baby. So look up and make sure you can still see that dumbbell, and then you know you're at the right angle for it. We're going for 16 this time. If you went up in weight, you can stay with 12. If you're staying with the same weight, we're going for 16. I have 5 more. Two more for me. Awesome. All right, so we set up for our reverse flies next. Going for 16 on each side. One hand on the seat of your chair, hips back, spine neutral. Squeeze your elbow out to the side. To prevent yourself from using your neck in this, I want you to keep that shoulder away from your ear. So using your lat, that's the muscle that's right behind your armpit, to help pick that weight up. And then squeezing your shoulder blade towards your spine. Those postural muscles that we need to keep strong for when we're holding the baby, for when we're breastfeeding, if you so choose. Breathe. And that's half a reminder for myself as well. I have 5 more, I think. Going for 16, unless you went up in weight. 2 more for me. And just make sure that you do both sides. I have to flip my chair around, but you don't. Just make sure you do both arms. Squeezing that weight up, out to the side. For me, it's always hard to get started with these workouts. You know, putting on the shoes, getting dressed, setting up the space. But then once I'm in it, I always feel so much better. I feel like my energy kicks in, and then afterwards, you know, I feel just like I achieved something. I did something for myself. And even if I'm sore, I'm like, you know what? I'm so much stronger for it. It's just that getting moving that's always the hardest part. 2 more. Started talking again. All right. Done with the weights. Setting up for plank. All right, all 4 feet on your mat. We come down into a plank. Stepping back, shoulder stacked right over wrists. So again, you have options. You can stay right here and hold your plank. Anytime you feel like you need a break, you push back to your modified downward dog. But if you want to go back into those hand taps, or hand lifts rather, not really tapping anything, we're going to do 14 this time. So adding 2. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Shoulders stay over your hands. 8, 10, 12. 2 more because you can. 14. Awesome. Recover. And our last set of squats. All right. 20 squats, and we're done with the hard part. Bring your feet as wide as you need them to be. Hips go back. Knees gently press out to the sides so that they stack right over your feet. All right. So if you're squatting from the front, it looks like this. My knees are stacking right over my feet. If your knees are buckling in, we need to open up through those hips. And that'll help you with labor as well. Opening the hips and strengthening those muscles in that position. That's halfway for me. Drive into the back half of your foot. Keep your chest up and open. Breathe. Notice I'm exhaling at the top. Inhaling, exhaling. I think I have 3 more. One more. We did it, guys. If you're still finishing up your squats, go right ahead. If you need to pause and just finish up the workout, go right ahead. You know what the movements are. You don't need me to do them along with you. As long as you listen to the cues from the first round and you watch your form. All right? Let's take some seated stretches if you are done. All right? Have a seat. First, starting by just placing your hands on your knees, relaxing your shoulders down, and just taking a couple deep breaths, filling up through your chest, through your diaphragm, pushing down, through your belly, and through your pelvis. And fully emptying. And then from here, we'll take our right arm across our body, give it a little hook with the left arm, roll your shoulder down, hold right there. This might feel tight after all of those weighted upper body movements. But I also noticed in myself that my shoulders started feeling really, really tight the further I went along in my pregnancy. And it could be because through our pregnancy, our rib cage expands, okay? So all the muscles have to stretch out just a little bit further than what they're used to. And that's why it's hard to take a deep breath from our rib cage, because our intercostals, the little muscles that are between your ribs, are already stretching out. Other side. Roll your shoulder down. Taking that breath not only into the front of your chest, but the back of your chest as well, into your back, into your sides, down into your belly and the bowl of your pelvis. And then we'll take one counter stretch for this. And so I'll show you from the side. Grab the back of your chair if your chair has a back, or the back of your seat. Come to the edge. And then we're going to just hold ourselves here, and we're going to roll our shoulders back, lift up through our chest. And then push down into your hips, and just lift up and up and up. This is a good one if you've been like sitting all day on your phone, scrolling, online shopping, just to get those shoulders moving back. And of course you can always grab the back of your seat or the sides of your seat as well. And if your chair doesn't have a back, or if you can't have anything to grab onto, just interlace your fingers and do the same thing. You just want something to bind your hands to give you an anchor. And take one more big inhale here. And exhale. Release. All right. Thank you so much for joining me for this chair circuit. I hope you had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun moving alongside with you. And I'll see you guys next time.